Yeah, we are live.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, good afternoon, good morning, good evening.
We'll just wait for a few more minutes till the time all the participants join in. In the meanwhile, everybody can use the chat box to introduce themselves, from which city they belong, the industry, and the work experience that they have. Hi, Yang. Hi, Vera. Hello, Jiang.
Vikram, can we run the poll? We have the poll.
Sure. So you can use the poll. All right, so we'll start. Hello, everyone. My name is Vikram Oberoi. I'm from the program advisory team at Emeritus. Most of you might have received communications from me through email, WhatsApp, and phone calls. So thank you so much for joining in the session today. So this is the Chief Financial Officer program from Singapore Management University. So today's agenda would be our key speaker, Professor François. He'll let us know the advantage of doing a program from SMU, a bit about program details and who is this program designed for, what would be the learning outcomes and how it's going to help you to solve real-world business problem, an overview about the curriculum, the success coach that's there in the program, program highlights, we talk about the SMU Associate Alumni Network, certification criteria, a bit about Emeritus, we move on to the Q&A and the next steps. So we welcome Professor François, who is the head of the Learning and Innovation team of SMU Executive Development, which oversees designing and delivering cutting-edge face-to-face, virtual and hybrid learning journeys for our clients, with a strong emphasis on generating a measurable and sustainable impact on participants and organization. He also has an extensive leadership experience in various MNCs and tech startups as a marketing manager. Over to you, Professor.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Welcome. It's a pleasure to be with you. Not being able to see you, but I hope you can hear us well. And I hope this session will be giving you all the information that you want to know about the program, the different learning outcomes, the contents. And please be mindful, you have the Q&A box you can use in Zoom. To share with us any kind of question that you have along the way. So don't hesitate to use it, and we'll have a look at your questions. If you don't have any question during the flow of the presentation, you can use it at the end. Yeah, just to add a bit to the introduction from Vikram, I am the program director for this program. I'm also in charge of other programs in the executive education division of SMU. We have an extensive portfolio of programs, and the role of my team is to take care of the design of those programs. The partnership with Emeritus is a very special partnership. We're very happy to have the partnership going on for a couple of years now. In the context of the partnership, Emeritus is fully in charge of the whole design in coordination with us, and they've been designing the experience with us, and we've been here to give our input and also to benefit from our panel of faculty. And internal faculty, associate faculty, we've tried our best to, as you will see, to find a good combination of practitioners and professors who engage regularly with senior audiences. I will say a few words about them, not that many, because we are primarily here to give you a sense of what's the learning journey. You see here the ranking of SMU relative to financial accounting and finance, especially the post-experience, the master's in finance post-experience. I think we can be proud of being pretty well ranked globally and in the region. And that is due to the quality of the faculty that we have, not only for research, but also for teaching. And I'm sure you'll be able to enjoy the sessions that they have prepared on videos, but also the live sessions that will be able to make you benefit from. So let's get into the details of the program. If you can go to the next slide, please. So it's quite a substantial program, as you know. It's going to start by the end of September. It's going to be from 9 to 10 months. It is fully online with, as I will share, one gathering at SMU for those of you who can make the trip to Singapore. We'll come back to the number of hours that you have to dedicate during the week, but you can see it here. Depending on your speed of learning, it's between 4 to 6 hours. So this is quite substantial. You have to be ready to dedicate that time and clearly organize yourself. And based on the experience from all the C-suite program that we've been running, we've always have the ability to support you to organize yourself. You can do that at your leisure. It can be during the week. It can be during the weekend. You will have some sessions also to attend at our live sessions. As soon as you find the pattern to organize yourself, the 4 to 6 hours are actually easily manageable, but it's a commitment, absolutely. You have the eligibility criteria at the bottom, and probably it's better to have a look, which is a bit later. I think next slide. Let's have a look at the learning outcomes and also the profile. I think that's the next slide. Yeah. So who's the target audience? This is what I had in mind. We welcome anyone who fits the profile that you see here. The best summary is to say if you are a finance leader or in connection with finance with 10 or more years of experience. For the first runs that we had definitely, if I remember correctly, and Emeritus can confirm, a majority of participants who were already in finance, either taking a CFO position or eager to take a CFO position, or to bring the CFO responsibility to the next level. So mostly people from finance, but not only. The beauty of this program is that it also is going to be equip any CXO or potential CXO, people connected to finance like COO who are in operations. I would like to better understand the role of the CFO. This is also a program for them. Because we have, as you will see, many modules that will give you the deep financial knowledge that you would need in order to either have a better dialogue with CFOs and people who are in charge of the finance responsibility, or be that person who's going to engage with the rest of the organization, and also by extension with the board if you have a board of directors, depending on the structure of your company. So it's quite a broad spectrum of profiles that will welcome, and that's also what makes the beauty of each run, because of the diversity of the profiles, even though the common interest is clearly finance. Let's go to the next slide. So learning outcomes, considering the number of modules, there are multiple. We already have a question. Thank you. We'll come back to that. The question about skills future. Learning outcomes, we have multiple, as I was saying, but they have been sorted out here by big clusters and key categories. So as I said, it's about the breadth and the depth. That's what we offer in the program. As you will see in terms of financial strategies, tools, etc., you will see that the first stage of the program is very detailed in terms of the core financial knowledge. the idea is always to help you to have a better strategic conversation inside the organization. But clearly, all the accounting knowledge, all valuation knowledge, all of that is something that we cover. The second part is expanding from this to financial governance. So you will cover ESG, you will cover the relationship with the stakeholders, the banks, the ethics also. We have a special module that we're quite happy to have about financial misconduct, or if you put it positively, financial ethics. So really being able to better craft your capabilities in terms of governance beyond planning. The third pillar is being able to have a good understanding or better understanding of how to leverage technology. So we cover blockchain, AI, big data, digital transformation, all those key elements in order to, all being at the end of the day connected to data, to help you be a leader who is able to better use data in your role, in your financial role. The fourth pillar is about leadership excellence. So we bring the leadership skills into the picture. And we have one professor who's an expert in organizational behavior who covers that pillar. And we contextualize the knowledge to the role and responsibilities of CFOs. The last bullet point here is a sort of summary. The idea is to really equip you to be more holistic in the way that you approach the role of CFO or finance leader in your organization, existing organization or future organization, if you also want to use the knowledge from that program to move to another role, a bigger role in another organization. So those are learning outcomes. Now let's go now into the presentation of the different modules. You can go to the next slide, please. So here they come. As I say, I'm not going to read every single one there. It's exactly the mirror of what I started presenting to you when I was talking about the learning outcomes. Just going to highlight a couple of key modules here. In phase one, we're very proud to start it with the voice of the CFO. So Thomas, who's a practitioner, who's currently an international CFO, brings his perspective to start the conversation in module one about the role of CFO as a strategic partner in the organization. Then we get into the connection between corporate and financial strategy. There's a lot of modules connected to strategy. The other interesting thing that we do is also opening up the minds of the participants, if you've never been exposed to that, to the value of using design thinking in your role of CFO. And the objective there is really helping you reflect on how to always be customer-centric, whatever that means. It can be internal customers, internal stakeholders, external stakeholders, can be suppliers, clients, whatever. So that's the whole purpose of bringing design thinking into the program. And then we cover all the key notions about strategy, including, as I said a while ago, value creation. Then we move into the details of financial management and also covering ESG, as you see in module 9. Financial misconduct, I mentioned that. M&A, a critical thing, very important beyond raising capital and long-term financial planning. A very important module also is the last one from that phase, which is about banking relationships. We're very happy to have one of the faculty who is a former banker, who's been on both sides of the fence, and is able to bring his perspective about how to develop the most effective and productive relationships with bankers. He's now an advisor of businesses in the region. So those are the first two phases. We can go to the next slide, please. Then the phase 3 and 4. Phase 3 is about the third pillar I mentioned, which is technologies in finance. As you see, we'll cover AI, blockchain, digital transformation, and big data. And then the last one is about leadership in finance, a very important module, which is building relationship, building the network, impacting, influencing others. What is the future of work? How is it going to impact finance in particular? What's happening? What can we expect to see happening? And then we close in module 22 with the qualities of a financial leader. As I mentioned to you, there are 22 modules, and maybe I made a sort of confusion at one point in my presentation. We have in total, if I remember correctly, 31 weeks, putting aside the breaks in the learning journey. 31 weeks for 22 modules, because some of the modules are longer. Some of the modules can be two weeks. So that's why you have the difference between the two. Last but not least, as I mentioned, we'll be very happy to welcome you for a one-day campus experience networking event at the end of the program, where we will organize a joint session with possibly with other programs that we run for C-suites as well. And the idea there is to not only reinforce the bonding between all of you, because you will have already, after 9 months, had the chance to exchange between each other, maybe even meet physically if you want to before meeting for the final session. But there's nothing better than being able to really get together for the graduation and get your certificate at the end. And have some drinks and food together. And also, before that, being able to exchange with some additional faculty or speakers during the day. So that's the idea for the end of the journey. What else do we have? Can you go to your next slide? Yes, a very important person. Alencar. Alencar will be... oh yeah, let me address the question that just popped up. Will there be exams and papers to submit? Yes, I will let our team from Emeritus elaborate a bit on that, but clearly you have some submissions to make. Some of them are mandatories. Some others, if I remember correctly, for this program are not necessarily mandatories. There is a regular submission. That's the idea. So it's a regular way that we adopt. There is no final exam in that kind of approach, because this is an executive education approach. But yes, there's definitely, and our program support is giving more substance to my answer right now. So please have a look, Daniel. So I was talking about Alencar, a very important person. He comes from the business. He's been active with us for quite a while, with Emeritus and with SMU. He will have the pleasure of being your success coach. It's a critical role, because it is there to facilitate the conversation between all of you every week, in order for you to be able to share on the topics at hand, depending on the module we're at. And creating the live spirit of cohort between all of you, and giving you a chance to know each other. So that's a critical person in the whole approach. Can we move to the next slide? So the highlights, I've mentioned most of them. I'm just trying to enlarge a bit my screen, excuse me, so I can read all the details here. Okay, so I mentioned already about the number of modules and the different pillars and the duration of the whole journey and the one-day campus. The other icons here refer for the next one to the nature of the program. As you are aware, it's mostly self-paced learning, but you do have also a couple of live lectures. I don't recall how many, but I think it's 8, if I'm correct. Live lectures by our faculty or our associate faculty. So that's also a very important moment for you to be able to ask questions and interact with our core faculty. You will have along the way, to complement the question that came up about the submissions, clearly some case studies to work on. The idea of the submission, let me elaborate a bit further, is always to help you translating the learning to your organization or an organization you're familiar with. That's the whole approach of the program. You'll receive a certificate of completion from us. We mentioned the success coach. And well, I think the last one is sort of bragging about our position. Learn from the youngest business school to achieve Triple Crown accreditation. Yes, absolutely. That's something that we wanted to add. You will be eligible, that's your decision at the end of the program, if you want, to join our alumni group. You'll be able to become an SMU Executive Development alumni. That will give you a series of benefits, discounted, for instance, discount to access additional programs. But more importantly, being able to be part of the network and be able to be receiving information from us and being invited to events with other alumni from the whole school and more precisely from executive development who have been through other programs from SMU. No, you don't need any programming IT knowledge for technology modules. That's the quick answer to anonymous attendee. I will let program support to elaborate on that. So yeah, the SMU Executive Development Alumni status is something that that's very keen to us. We are trying to make the community of alumni more and more vibrant as the months go by. This is quite a rather recent initiative in terms of having frequent get-together, and we really would be happy to get your feedback once you have graduated about the value of the being alumni from SMU Executive Development standpoint. All right, let's go to the next slide. There you go. I started anticipating that slide. You have the details here. So as I say, discount exemptions depending on the content that you want to then, the curriculum you want then to follow up with. In all the master's programs from our School of Business, that's the first benefit. I told you about the professional networking events. You can also benefit of a discount on eligible additional open enrollment programs open to the public. Since we also have a lot of custom programs that we design for custom clients. You will have other privileges from different partners. As I said, the access to the Alumni Virtual Community Network. And you will receive the Alumni newsletter, which is called SMU Circle. I think I have a last slide to cover. And don't hesitate, continue to drop your questions in the Q&A. It's probably better than the chat, but you do as you wish. How do you get the certificate at the end of the program? What are the criteria? You will, and I'm aware that we have not put here the percentage, so we'll need the help. If you can unmute yourselves, my colleagues of Emeritus, if you can go back to the previous slide and remind us what's the percentage completion to be able to get the certificate. I don't recall if it's 75% or 80%.
That's 80%, Professor.
Thank you. I get confused depending on the programs. Okay, so 80% of the mandatory submissions is the important criteria to keep in mind. And then if you satisfy that, that should be accessible quite easily. If you, once again, organize yourself, create the learning routine, you'll be able to get the certificate of completion. I think that's all for me, and I'm ready to take additional questions if you have them a bit later, but I'm going to pass it over to Vikram for the last slides.
Thank you so much, Professor, for the insightful session. So a bit about Emeritus. If we talk about Emeritus, partners with the best universities in the world to create online courses. Singapore Management University has collaborated with Emeritus to create online courses, and we've served over 250,000 students from across the world. That's the bifurcation mentioned on the right-hand side of the screen. So any questions you may have, you can use the Q&A box and we can address that. So we'll just wait for a few minutes here to address all the questions. anything about the program, the delivery, please feel free to put in the Q&A box. We have the professor on this call, so anything about the content, please do put it in the Q&A box.
And if you have no question, that's probably a good sign.
I believe while going through the slides, most of the questions were answered.
We have Anonymous, who's striking again. What kind of activity are we participating during the course? So there's a lot of reflective activities that are part of the course. First of all, as we mentioned, some of them lead to a submission, and most of the submissions contribute to the criteria to be able to get the certificate at the end with 80% completion. There are clearly the sessions, the online sessions with the success coach that are on a weekly basis, which are live. And there's also a series of live sessions with the faculty, as I mentioned. So as for your homework, before the reflection, as part of the reflection, you may work on case studies, on some specific questions that have been raised through the learning platform. It's a combination of all of that depending on each module and each week. That's basically my best description. And if the Emeritus colleagues want to elaborate further, please don't hesitate. Maybe you could give an example of assignment to be a bit more specific. I've seen in the previous answer that you mentioned it was not long essays. They are Anonymous. I'm going to call you Anonymous. Anonymous is quite short. Okay, it's never a long kind of essay because once again you have one every week. So it's generally a reflective kind of assignment. Working sometime with some of the data of the case study, that kind of stuff. So that's not too demanding because we are aware that all of you are busy professionals. The idea, I want you to emphasize that what is generally the idea of every submission is to help you internalize and reinforce the learning. That's the objective. Okay, so that's why at the end of the day, this is not the kind of forum where we tell you you're going to pass because you had an exam. It's really continuous learning, and that's why the format of the submission is more reflective than anything else. And program support is giving you more information. Including to Michael about the next intake. Other projects that we need to do with other course attendees. There is no specific group assignments in this program, and there's a rationale behind that, is that you are potentially in a different time zone. We know it, very busy. So that's why it's a deliberate decision not to include group assignments in that kind of projects. And so that's my answer to your question, Anonymous. Any other question? I'm looking at the chat because some of you have been using the chat. Yeah. It depends. It comes from all over the world. Sorry, I'm responding to Anonymous. Vikram, go ahead.
Yeah, so it is from all part of the world since it's a global program, but a majority of the participants would be from in and around Singapore and the neighboring countries. And as we had seen in the previous slide towards the start, these are C-suite executives, functional leaders, business owners, entrepreneurs who would be a part in this program, but average work experience around 18 to 20 years.
And we'll be able to tell you about the next cohort mix as soon as we have finalized the cohort. So that's something that we'll definitely share with you during the orientation webinar when it will happen. But yeah, we have a mix. It depends on each cohort also. There's generally a majority coming from Singapore, but clearly from other countries as well, and not only in ASEAN, by the way. So that's also why it's quite interesting. And also, even for the people based in the region, a mix of nationalities clearly and backgrounds. I think we've answered Francesco's questions about the nature of the assignments. You will receive some feedback clearly on the assignment. And let me be clear for that program, which, as I mentioned, due to the diversity of profile that we are welcoming. We have seen in the past that some of the participants were who didn't have a strong financial background were challenged for some modules that are a bit more technical, and the success coach is critical in that situation to help you also. That it's clear that we don't want to welcome anyone in this program that would create sort of too much diversity. But people who have a very strong business experience, who have been able to be engaging with finance, once again, like best example for me, people coming from operations would like to expand their knowledge. They're more than welcome, and we know they will probably have a bit more challenge in some of the most technical modules, and that's where the feedback also is quite important. Any other question? Please share. When I say technical, I mean, let me give you examples. Not necessarily strategy value drivers, value creation could be a bit more. When I say technical, it's more financial, more accounting, financial planning, analytics, maybe. Valuation could be the case. That's what I'm talking about. I recall that, yeah, those were probably more those modules where I remember for some cohorts that some of the participants had a bit more challenges. So I'm not talking about technology, okay? When I say technical, I meant financial or accounting kind of content. Sorry if that was misleading. Technology is not, I repeat, no need for coding. This is the business value of the technology. This is how you can use those technologies in your role as a CFO. It is not to make you an expert of coding or data analytics as an analyst. It's not the objective. Okay. Francesco, you're asking evaluation model. Can you elaborate a bit more, please? What do you mean by that? I get a sense of it, but maybe in the chat or... This program has been running since the beginning of the year, if I'm correct. Which run is it, Vikram? I'm getting lost. Is it the third one?
That was in December.
Yeah, so this will be the third one, right?
This will be the fourth batch.
Okay, fourth batch, sorry. Okay, so that's the answer to your question. This question has been already covered by the team. The comparison with other similar ones run by other Singapore universities. Oh, thank you very much. I don't think that there's exactly the same kind of program that's being offered so far. There are other programs that are about financial knowledge. Clearly, we have others also. As far as I know, I've not seen that many other Singapore universities offering that kind of program, which is really here to help prepare professionals like you to become full-fledged CFOs and be able to have a seat at the table, not only at the C-suite, but above. So I'm not the one who generally brags that much, to be honest with you, but I do believe it's quite unique. But once again, I might be wrong. So you can search. I don't recall having seen any equivalent program out there in Singapore. Are the contents of the program based on feedback from the industry? Oh yeah. So the way this program has been designed is by putting together three thoughts of a stream of thoughts. The expertise from Emeritus with the exposure that they have to the demands in the other markets, not only in Singapore, ASEAN, but in the rest of the world, and they have connections with various other universities. The second stream of thought is coming from the practice and from people in the industry, and the third one from our faculty. And we've tried to put it all together, shake it well, and come up with a high-value curriculum. I'd love to know your real name, Anonymous.
That would be 1 hour.
Thank you, Vikram. 1 hour for live session. We try to schedule them at the time which is a good time for everyone. It's always a challenge, depending on where you are based in terms of time zone and time in clearly time in the day for Singaporean participants. But I think we've found the right recipe with the experience, and it takes 1 hour. Yeah. All right.
We'll just
You
wait
still have a bit of time. Sorry, Vikram.
We'll just wait for a minute or so for
Yeah.
any last moment questions. So
Absolutely. And as you are going to see, you can probably flash out the next steps slides. So
sure.
People are ready to get the information there. You have the application form in the chat box and the contact here if you want to proceed. If you have any question after this session, please don't hesitate to contact us. Looking at the Q&A, it doesn't look like you have more. Well, I hope it was useful. Yes. The answer is yes, live sessions are recorded. Thank you, Michael. By the way, they are recorded, and I would really advise you to join live, because those are the, it's striking the right balance between being self-paced and giving live opportunities. So you have those live opportunities. We really hope that you can actually enjoy them. And so try to join live rather than looking at the recording. It's not going to be the same kind of experience. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope it was a useful session for everyone. Once again, you have here the details if you have any follow-up question that come to your mind. And of course, if you are interested in applying, you have the link in the chat window, or you can contact Emeritus. Well, we hope to see you joining us very soon and being part of the experience. And
thank you. Thank you so much,
wish you
Professor.
a very, very good rest of the day wherever you are. And
thank you so much,
to everyone.
Professor.
Thank you, Vikram.
Thank you.
And the rest of the Emeritus team.
Please use the email, the call option, and the WhatsApp option in case any questions, any concerns about the program. The advisory team would be there to assist you. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining today. Have a good day.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, sir.
Hey, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.